So I got a laser. I like it. I like it a lot. I've been wanting one of these things for a while, but I was like, what am I really going to use it for? It's a lot of money. I don't think I want to spend it. But then this company, Aufero, which is a subsidiary of Ortur, said, would you like to try it out? Sure, I'd like to try it out. So they sent me one, and I made a couple of things, which I'll go through with you, but this thing's really pretty cool, and you might want to consider getting yourself one. If you've ever watched any videos of people using these things before, it seems really complicated. You have to use CAD, and you have to know CNC and XY coordinates and all this other stuff. It's really not that hard to use. I was able to put this thing together in about 10 or 15 minutes. It comes pretty much assembled. I'm not going to bore you with showing you how to put it together. The company has an excellent video, which I'll put a link to down below, but it goes together pretty easily. You zip tie your wires out of the way. So you will need software to run this. You can download Laser Gerbil, which is free, and you can use that, or you can get Lightburn. That's what I decided to do. Lightburn comes with a 30-day free trial, and it's not some kind of big hassle. You just download the software, and every day it will say you have 28 days left, 27 days left. But you don't have to get involved in signing up and credit card and all that other nonsense. I guess at the end of the 30 days it stops working. But the software is really easy to use. The first thing I was concerned about with the laser, from watching some other videos on it, is this little head that does the burning can move back and forth pretty quickly. And while this thing doesn't have a ton of power, the vibration of it could cause it to slide around a little bit on your workbench. So the first thing I did was got a big old piece of MDF, and I put some bolts into it and screwed this down to the MDF, so then I could place whatever I was going to work on right on top of the MDF, and I wouldn't have to worry about the frame sliding around. It also makes it a little bit more secure. I don't have just this lightweight aluminum frame. I have a heavy board that it's attached to. There's less chance of me breaking this thing down the road. The laser does come with these stylish glasses. It really is important that you wear them. Remember, your mother would tell you to wear them. Anything could happen when you're in the workshop. This thing could come loose. The laser bounces off of something. The dog knocks this on the floor. You only get 2 eyes. Take care of them. Comes with the power cord and a USB cord that you're going to need to hook to your computer. Instruction manual, it's kind of worthless, but there's plenty of information available on these lasers online, forums and other groups like that. And they sent some sample materials you can play with, but I mainly do woodworking, so that's what I started with. Let me show you some of the things I made. The first thing I wanted to try is what it can do with pictures. So I found a picture of my children when they were much smaller and cuter, and downloaded that into the software and just picked a couple of elements from Canva, put it into a little layout, and burned it onto a piece of wood. I was really surprised with how well it worked. And again, this didn't take much at all. I don't have a lot of artistic ability, and it just burned the picture into the piece of wood. I traced it with an outline, cut it out, sanded it a little bit, and you can see it came out really well. I was really impressed with that. The next thing I wanted to try out was, I have another project coming up where I need to cut some 3/4 plywood, and the layout needs to be pretty accurate. And I didn't want to go the route of printing it out on paper, gluing it to the plywood, cutting it out that way. I figured, let me give the laser a shot and see what that would do. And I just put the 3/4 plywood on the laser and sent the file over there as a drawing into Lightburn, ran the file through, and it burned the outline and the spots where I need to drill my holes. It's going to make layout much easier as long as I have something that will fit in this square, which is 390 by 390 millimeters. I think that's around 16 inches, something like that. Okay, it's 15 and a half, but you know, that's something, if you're going to get one of these, you're going to have to kind of get the hang of working in metric, because the software, the laser, it's all set up in metric. And if you're thinking maybe one day down the road you're going to go CNC, it's better to learn it now. One thing I didn't mention earlier that's really nice about this machine, that not all of them have this feature, is it has 2 motors for your movement this way, which is the Y movement, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, this is the Y, and this is the X. So some of these machines only have 1 motor, and it can allow this center bar to get cocked a little bit because you're only driving it from one side. This one has 2 motors. They're both driving at the same time. So this bar always stays parallel. And this motor here runs the head back and forth. Since I mentioned woodworking, if you do woodworking, you have to do cutting boards. It's like a law, I guess. So I ran down to Walmart and picked one up for a couple of bucks, brought it back, went into Canva, made a quick design that was the dimensions of the cutting board, downloaded the file from Canva, opened up the Lightburn software, brought in the image file, set the cutting board down on the laser, and just let it run. And it came out beautiful. It was really amazing how simple it was. If you're considering getting one of these things, don't wait. I wish I would have done this a long time ago. I'm still not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this, but just a few things that I've done with it already, it's definitely going to be a great addition to my shop. I know there's people out there who are going to say using a laser is not really woodworking. Well, I don't know. Is using a table saw really woodworking? Some things that I'm probably going to try in the future with this, maybe I'm going to try marquetry or inlays. The laser burns that you put into wood are definitely deep enough to catch the edge of a chisel if you wanted to do some inlays. But I did watch a few videos on marquetry. That's a little bit more involved. Too much of a learning curve for me at this point to get this video out. I wanted to just let you know a little bit about this machine. You know, I'm not a laserologist. This is my first laser. I've only played with this a little bit. I believe this is a 5-watt laser. So this is probably what you would consider entry level. You can get something a little bit smaller than this, a little bit less expensive, but not by much. So if you're just starting out looking for an entry-level laser, I would say this is probably a good bet for you. It's built pretty solid. It's amazingly accurate. I guess all of them are. I don't know. Like I said, this is my only experience with it. But this thing, I burned over the picture that I did earlier 3 times, and there were no issues with the image shifting it. Every single time it was in the exact same spot. So it's definitely something worth checking out. I really don't have anything else to say. I could stand here and mumble or something like that, but you know, like your mother says, if you don't have anything to say, then just shut up. So it's probably what I'll do. It would be embarrassing for me if I just stood here and kept talking with nothing else to say. So maybe you could comment or something down below if you have any questions or anything. Maybe what your experience is with the laser. And then I guess I probably am gonna just stand here and mumble, which is not good. I'm just gonna go.